The Burning Questions is a panel-style cybersecurity discussion featuring industry practitioners as co-hosts and panelists. Each episode focuses on delivering unfiltered, experience-driven opinions on real-world cybersecurity topics. We're looking for no vendor spin, no fluff, no word salads, just sharp questions, real expertise, and increasingly questionable life choices. Here are the rules for the panel. Every time a question is asked, the panelist answering must take a bite of a specially selected, brutally spicy food item. The host takes a bite too. Just to be fair, the escalating heat mirrors the real pressure faced by cybersecurity practitioners in their real jobs. As the spiciness intensifies, the honesty increases as well. This is cybersecurity under pressure.
There were customers who were raising, what's going on? This is different. Is this a scam, or am I getting hacked or whatever, that kind of thing. In terms of communications, was there communications about the incident, and was there separate communications about the change in the experience with implementing the new control, or were they linked and in sync?
So, it may sound very controversial. There was no mention about the incident to anyone, mainly because there was no victims except us. Now, technically, you can go, the fraudulent credit cards, those are the victims, right? But we have no means of being able to say anything. And we weren't losing PI information as well. So that from that perspective, there was no outward communication. It was made as a decision that we don't need to. It was a decision that was actually deliberated over, even from a privacy team perspective as well. But it was a very quick one. It was like, was there any PI information? No, nothing at all. Okay, who's the victim? We are. And then it's like, we understand now. And change management just needed to be happen after the fact, way after the fact.
So this incident is not your data loss breach kind of thing. This is just basically fraud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are making the company that you work for lose revenue from the loss of merchandise. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's always interesting, I guess. In these days, there's a lot of things about PI information and everything it's quite common. I think the fraud angle is always interesting, which is why I bring this up as an incident to talk about, right? Because it is still a real impact, and it actually becomes a real monitoring number at the end of it that has been lost as well. And which is why it becomes, I don't have to guess how much we lost. With PI information, absolutely you can go, oh, it's estimated, blah blah blah, and then you pull it together. For me, that exercise was very simple. It's like, we don't have that many products, we've lost that amount, right? So it was very clear cut in that sense. Wow.
So you mentioned about this is the prioritization. So this is just about the time that need to be done, that is being deprioritized somewhere. So I assume that the risk is already known, that is already communicated, and the risk register, I assume, should be there, and whether it's high risk or low, medium, high risk. So in that situation, is that part of the high risk identified but is implemented later on, or is medium? How the business say in that kind of risk when you identify them?
It's very interesting. And again, I think I'll add in a bit of a controversial angle to this, and I'll eat very soon. Seems like everyone's asking me questions.
It's your story.
Controversial because when I talk to the business about risk, I don't present all risk, number one. I only present high risks. That's one, the first controversy. Second controversy, I don't tell them it's high risk. My premise is when I speak to a business and I do tell them and go, look, I'm not going to give you a laundry list of things that needs to be fixed because this is medium, this is high, this is whatever. I will only speak to you when I know that this is something that can impact you. It's a material. There's a material impact to it. The reason is because I've learned in my career and being working in line to risk before. The moment you present a report with high, medium, low to any business, you know what's the first thing they do? They argue over whether it's high, medium, or low. And then suddenly nobody cares about what the problem is. They only care about whether it's high, medium, or low. So to take away all of that and make it a really productive conversation, I have made a decision and going, I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm pretty sure low at some stage I'll come talk to you about it. That's fine. But I will always talk to you about the really important stuff, which is why it ended up being in the backlog. But then it kept getting deprioritized.
I see. So I assume they assume that it's not important because there is no kind of.
No,
Is that right?
No, I don't think they think it was not important. I just think that they thought it was a very large customer friction, of which they were trying to figure out what the change management process is to deal with it. My counter argument to them was that at that stage, I went 3D secure is not a new thing, so we just have to inform people they would get it. So we came to an impasse when it comes to that.
Common.
Oh yeah.
All right. So talk about low loss of PII. So you have an incident that's the opposite of that. So now it's your turn. You want to tell us your story?
Yeah, the story. Yeah, the incident that I experienced is related to the PI loss. So to tell you the story, so on a Thursday 5:30, so I received email coming from my team that the team also received email from the media team, which is monitoring all the Facebook communication, etc., social media. And in that email, there is a report that the customer report. There is a link into one of the website that we manage is leaking up our PII informations. So when I received the email, I immediately check that email and click that link, make sure that it is accurate informations. So when I click that link, I saw there's a lot of PII information listed down there. So I also have to check first whether it's accurate or not. This is a customer in our company or is something else. So I did a quick check. Is it accurate? So at that moment, my thinking was quickly how we contain this information before being leaked out. So because it's not really public information at the time. So I communicated to the head of the applications and I immediately called him and then asked him to shut down that website. And then I also communicate back to my CIO and also communicated to the regional team as well. So because I put it as a high severity, I make a phone call and immediately, even 5:30, I still have to find a phone call and ask the person to fix it. And within a few minutes, the link is fixed. So I was thinking that, okay, I go home and I can safely sleep and tomorrow will be a new day. Yeah? So in fact, it's the opposite. So the next morning, I come to the office. I immediately receive email from the media, from the our corporate communication, that the reporter is asking questions whether is this information true or not, that the PI information have been leaked out. So when I saw that email, that moment I know my life is gonna change. and I know at the time that
It's too late to resign.
It's too late. It's too late. I know that my life is gonna be the same on that moment, and immediately at the time I called my CIO. I asked for a confidential discussion. I went to his room, closed the door, called in some important people in, and make sure that we are getting the information correct. And then we also providing information to our corporate communication so they can communicate back to the reporter. So the interesting thing is that dealing with the reporters, they are getting you a pressure. So they're giving you pressure. If you don't give me the information by this, I will inform. I will report. So it's a lot of pressure there, and then we have to negotiate with them that we will provide information within certain time. Yeah, while at the same time we started our CMT crisis management team. So we discuss, and then we have a hourly meeting about how do we deal with this, how do we communicate back to the reporter, how do we communicate to the regulators, how do we communicate with the head office, etc. So what's the impact? So there are numbers of PI information being leaked out. Is date of birth, the passport number, address, the name, etc. Is all there. Even the maiden name, mother's maiden name is there. The phone number is there. So it's quite damaging in terms of the information being leaked. So the story short is the issue actually has been it's already been fixed, right? So now it's about dealing with media, dealing with all the hype, all the rumors, all the things that made my life was very very difficult at the time. Yeah.